This college basketball and college baseball picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code SGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also running by Edge Boost. Earn up to $750 per month on your sports gambling transactions. Go to edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Hey, this is John Smoltz, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Cox.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Oh my God, baseball?
Yeah.
Did I show up on the wrong day?
No. The little bonus baseball. We will have college basketball joining us from the college experience. Basketball, baseball, and football. Colby Dant, aka Pick Dundee. What's happening, Colby?
Richie Incognito says his regards, buddy.
Yes, that was an interesting development. I have been a vocal supporter of Richie Incognito. I even had a stand-up bit about how the NFL was created for professional bullying. You can't. I mean, this is where we want bullies, and even whatever he was doing probably wasn't actual bullying. Like, yeah, he told a couple guys to fuck off. It's a locker room. I was always an advocate of Richie Incognito, and then I saw Richie Incognito. He had his receipts, and basically Jonathan Martin, the guy he supposedly bullied, he was like, "Yeah, I don't ever think I was bullied." It's like, wait, what? What was that whole Ted Wells report?
I knew that shit did smell like shit from the start. From the start, we knew that was garbage. Yeah.
And I was on team Richie Incognito. And I went to go like some of his posts, and it says you cannot do that. I'm like, well, can I at least follow Richie Incognito? And said Richie Incognito blocked you. So, and me, like, what did I do to piss off Richie Incognito?
I don't know, but I guarantee you wouldn't say it to his face.
I have no idea.
There is an element of Richie Incognito being right about this, where it feels like a defense attorney breaking down a gruesome crime scene where maybe the cops screwed up the way they handled the evidence, but the guy clearly was guilty. Like Incognito has done not a good person. Not a good person.
Come on. I mean, he's the same as Romanowski or Andre Waters. There's a million of these.
I don't know Richie Incognito, but I don't know that he's.
This was bad. He's also had issues, other situations around violence, racism. Like, he's had some things happen to him. This was fucked up. That's why he became the target. Honestly, he wasn't a likable guy. It was easy to get caught up in it. And when the mom said that, which, by the way, what a fucking private school pussy move to have your mom come
Where
out.
is he from? Miami? Where do you go to school?
Stanford.
Miami? Stanford. Oh, come on.
And so, yeah, to have your mom, I don't know. It sounds like a pretty fucked up situation, but the fact that Richie Incognito and John Rocker are coming back into social media in the same time.
Wait a second here, man. Wait a second. Wasn't Incognito's thing that was the race thing? I don't think there was a track record of him being.
I'll pull it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah. 100%.
I remember like he might have had some steroid problems at Nebraska or something like. Yeah, okay, he's a bit of a character, but like I said, like I put him in the vein of Romanowski or Andre Waters, where you need your team winning teams.
I hadn't heard of any other teammates having an issue with him besides Jonathan Martin, and Jonathan Martin also went haywire and like threatened to kill some people later on. He has some real mental health stuff going on. I'm
just saying it's kind of it feels like he's doing the victory lap on the thing that he was definitely right about. But he has had some other things that occurred in his past that doesn't make him completely innocent.
I don't know.
But I don't think it was race. I think it was I thought he got like in trouble for steroids or something at Nebraska. I thought,
I'll pull it. I'll do.
or
some
maybe he
Ryan's,
fought.
Ryan's
He got
Mike Flory over here, just dragging Richie Incognito's good name through the mud.
I mean, again, he's very into it. He's very into the social media aspect of it.
Who?
Richie Incognito.
Oh, wouldn't
Well,
you?
I mean, he's wrongfully.
Yeah, they said
wouldn't you?
They fucked his whole career up because they said he was a bully, and then turns out he wasn't a bully.
He came back after that.
Yeah, but he missed
again.
he missed guaranteed.
100%. This was fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm not denying that. I'm just pointing out that it's like, okay. I mean, it doesn't make you a.
I don't know if he's Mother Teresa. I'm just saying they fucked him over pretty hard.
He blocked
I
mean, who knows what kind of sensitive snowflake this guy?
Maybe he's a snowflake.
I do want to know that backstory. If anyone knows Richie Incognito, please DM me at the Colby D. I would love to know why you blocked Sean Stack and the Money Green.
Yes. He's probably listening to the show. So Richie, reach out. I want to make amends.
There was an incident in Arizona in 2018 when he threatened to shoot a bunch of people at a funeral home where his father's body was being kept.
Oh,
well, come on,
He was grieving.
Good God,
He was grieving.
Trying to murder a bunch of
Oh, he tried to murder.
Oh, look at you over there.
He was at his dad's funeral and he was overserved. I blame the bar staff. If anyone.
Overserved. And you ever seen the prices on a fucking funeral? I don't care that he's a former NFL
They
player.
get you coming and going. Yeah, and if Jonathan Martin would have messed up his paychecks, maybe it'd be a little easier to pick up the tab. His family. He's got to do catering and the cremation. He's got to pay for everything.
All right. I'll stop. I'll stop with the journalism.
No, I just Incognito blocked me. I'll never know why. Hey.
You were too aggressive in your internet bullying of him.
This is my favorite development, by the way.
Which one? Oh,
just the fact that he's blocked you.
Yeah, I have no idea why. I really want to know. Because I wouldn't have. I'm trying to think of anything I said that would have upset Richie.
Maybe like the Eagles were playing his team or something, and he saw you say, "We're gonna shit on the team."
Sister Jean fan or something. He heard some of the deep cuts. All right, hey, we're gonna hit on college baseball real quick up top, and then get into the college basketball picks. Of course, I was 2-1 on the college basketball lock. So
great job.
Someone's got to carry the show. But joining us on the line, host of the college baseball experience, Noah B. What's happening, Noah?
What's going on, guys? I'm very happy to have not caught any wind of this story whatsoever. So I'm just kind of sitting as the third party here, listening about both sides just being soft. I mean, the guy that was complaining about other people being soft blocked the guy.
Yes, no, there is some irony there.
Yeah.
Well, you would know. It's like you got Connor Stallions there. You know, I mean, everyone's giving him a hard time. Meanwhile, everyone's doing the same shit.
Well, I think the problem is if you read or, I mean, again, if you've ever been in a football locker room, the stuff you say in a locker room, and then if you compare that to stuff you would say in a workplace, obviously those are two completely different things, right?
Don't tell Shefty that.
No, but like if you took screenshots of stuff I've said in a group text, it'd be like, oh my God, this guy's a piece of shit. He's unemployable. You know, you could frame something pretty bad.
Yeah. But I can make you guys look really bad.
Yeah, come on. If we release Colby's text messages, although it would just hurt us in the long run.
Honestly, someone could have just stood outside the office when Colby and Patty C were here.
God,
which, by the way, unrelated. Is Patty C all right? Everything good with him?
I haven't checked on the LA Fires recently, but I think he's okay.
I should have done a U-turn and gone back. There was a guy hanging out by the on-ramp. He had the Patty C waddle, Colby. I was hoping you were going to tell me that everything's good. You've done a podcast with him recently.
Oh no, we're good. We're good. It's been a couple weeks, but yeah, we're good. But so I mean, the Fires were a thing, you know.
He definitely wasn't near the on-ramp of the 134.
I can't rule them out. I cannot rule them out.
Or deny.
He looked like he had that JMU burst still. Anyway,
he still had the hip swivel.
Yeah, he was getting down the 3-point stance.
All right, Noah, college baseball. Let's just talk about it.
Still using metal bats?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First off, still okay. That's cool.
And hold on real quick, just in case things go awry. Let me see how this works. Oh yeah, it works. Okay.
Shout out to Po Boy. He may make a cameo. So Noah, big picture. Who are obviously we're going to be tuning in college baseball picks, getting you ready for the season. But is there anyone we should be getting a future on? Who are a couple teams you like? Future prices. What are we looking at here for the season?
So there's 5 teams that I really, really like the future of or the outlook of long term for this season. Talked about it last week. The prices don't normally change too drastically within a week in college baseball. There's just not enough action or money in the market to do that. So I gave up Texas A&M plus 900, Arkansas 15-1, LSU 9-1, Virginia 12-1, and then my favorite price was North Carolina 28-1 to win it all there. That's been cut to 24-1 over the weekend. I know that one for sure. But Texas A&M, last year's runner-up, had all that was the big storyline over the offseason. Jim Schlossnagle, their head coach, was basically they figured out he was out the door during May. The athletic director of Texas was one of his best friends when they were together at TCU. So now you got Schlossnagle, the head coach of formerly TCU, Texas A&M, and now he's at Texas. I saw them.
Hold on. Sell that a little bit more. A&M has
I remember
endless money. The sitting baseball coach left A&M for Texas, so that was the biggest storyline of the whole entire college baseball.
I sold that.
You got to sell that thing better. That thing is that they hate each other. I mean, come on.
Good Lord, everybody knows they hate each other. It's Texas A&M.
Schlossnagle's his real name.
Well, that's a series of shots on 6th Street in Austin as well.
I feel like that is
Okay.
a Schlossnagel is like it's like a rail that ends with somehow a nipple in your mouth or something.
So I think
going,
Texas A&M has the best roster, and last year, because Schlossnagle was already kind of out the door, they were a real player-led team. So they've got a young head coach, first-year head coach, 36 years old, and Michael Early. And I'm not sure that really matters. There's also a couple other handful of coaches in the SEC that jumped right into the SEC with no head coaching experience. One of them being Kevin O'Sullivan, who's one of the most successful head coaches in the game right now. Also Butch Thompson over at Auburn, Wes Johnson at Georgia, and Sullivan, of course, with Florida. And they've been to Omaha like 9 times in the last, 15 years. So anyways, the Aggies return quite a bit from last year's team. Jace Laviolette, one of the best players in the country, being one of them. So I like Texas A&M. North Carolina is really interesting to me because last year they had quite a few pitching injuries, and I thought that actually allowed them to develop some really good talent on the mound, and that was a little bit of their weakness last year. And they got to Omaha, they made some noise, did some damage, but they returned basically that entire pitching staff. So Jake Knapp was their ace in the preseason. He got Tommy John surgery, so he was out for the entire year. Folger Boaz was then their new Friday night starter.
Where do they come with these names?
I don't know, man.
Folger Boaz? Okay.
Folger Boaz. So he was their new number one.
Definitely a real name.
And he went down with UCL injury. And then Jason DeCaro stepped up, and he pitched tremendous. 90 innings last season to 3.81 ERA. North Carolina's pitching staff, I think, is really, really good. And at 24-1, a young lineup is going to be able to grow, take their lumps throughout the season, while this pitching staff is going to continue to dominate. They didn't put up a ton of runs during opening weekend, but they swept Texas Tech. And that was honestly one of the more impressive weekends from any team during opening weekend there. So I like North Carolina. They've got a really good catcher named Luke Stevenson that could go in the first round of the draft as well. Arkansas,
nice come from behind win tonight.
Yes, against Kansas State. Arkansas is another one of those teams that has a boatload of really good, high talent pitching. How about these names? Gabe Gackel, Landon Beidelshees, and Zach Root.
These aren't real names.
Those three are tremendous. Three of them could have, all three of those guys could be aces pretty much 95% of other places in the country. And then their shortstop, Vahiva Aloy, a Hawaiian superstar in the making. He led the Cape Cod League in home runs per game last season, and Ryder Helfrich, their catcher, led the Cape Cod League over the summer in home runs. So I think Arkansas is a true player. LSU's got really good pitching. They've got a real balance of pitching and offense that I think could allow them to do some damage. And then Virginia took a rough loss to, ironically, Michigan over the weekend, and their offense was the calling card. This was one of the better offenses on paper coming into the season. They went to Omaha last year. They returned like 7 starters, but they really didn't do a ton of damage. So that's a team that we're probably banking on, being better as the season goes along. They were without their number 1 pitcher due to a arm soreness as well. So those are the 5 teams that I'm really, really high on coming into the year.
Now, the kids still go up to the Cape League, huh? Wood bat still, I assume?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Oh, so they're and the pussy. We've all seen that Freddie Prinze Jr. movie.
Yeah, Cape Cod.
Summer Catch Baby, very underrated. Very underrated.
Get some lobster rolls. Noah,
it's a baby fucking wheel, man.
if you had to, is there? I know you have 2 teams on the list, but give us your one.
Also, I'm not betting on UVA. So
Okay,
I
Kramer's
completely
out.
disregarded that.
Give us one long shot that could get to Omaha, get hot, a Cinderella story, a dark horse, someone maybe 50-1 or longer that we put a edge boost free bet on, whatever it is. What do you got, Noah?
All right. So to get to Omaha, if you wanted long shot, you didn't want my little dark horse 10-1.
No.
Here's the long shot that I have.
No.
Here's the long shot. I like Stetson, the Hatters. I gave this out last week. The price hasn't moved, and they played great opening weekend. They went 3-1. Their only loss, again, Michigan. Michigan had a really good weekend. But Stetson Hatters. So I think there's just a geographical hole in Florida. And the way the NCAA tournament works, I don't want to get too nerdy on you, but they're in regionals. They limit travel. Florida and Florida State, I don't think are as good as they've been in years past. We've seen really good Gators teams. I don't know if this one's really, really good. Give me Stetson. And talking about the Cape Cod League, it is like one of the true tell signs of talent in baseball, because if you can hit well with a wood bat, you're going to hit well with a metal bat. And all of the best talent in the summer, when they need more work because they either got hurt during the regular season, they didn't get enough time during the regular season, it's the most talented summer league. They sent the second most players to that league, only behind Vanderbilt. And, Vanderbilt, big ass program. Stetson's going to be really competitive this year. They only lost 1 true contributor from last season. That was Kyle Jones, the ASUN freshman of the year. He transferred to the Florida Gators. But the Hatters returned their entire infield from last year. Their top 2 home run hitters, and Lorenzo Miola, Kramer. That name might sound familiar. That's Tim Miola's son, Tony Miola's son from Team USA.
His dad was in the Chicago outfit, right?
Oh wow, look at you!
I have no idea.
Tony Miola.
I just know he's a really good goalie from reading a lot.
So wait, Noah, you're burying the lead. We got a DJ audience. What is the Stetson Hatters price to win it all?
I thought I said it 66-1, and it hasn't
66-1. All right.
Just to win it all. To win it all. I don't know to win it all.
Omaha?
Yeah, just to get to Omaha.
Just to make the college World Series playoffs?
Yes.
So their price to win it's probably like off the board, or it's 300.
Well, if you get to Omaha, you're the final 8. So
it's either off the board or you're going into the weeds. But they played really, really well. They played exactly kind of how I thought they would, because of all the talent they had. They sent to the Cape. They also bring in, so they completed a trade with Florida. They bring in a 2-way guy. He pitches and he can hit really well. Landon Russell, he's their center fielder. They also have Chipola JUCO transfer who played at Florida State, Jordan Taylor. Jaden Hilton is their best player. He hit 3 home runs over the weekend. Evan Griffiths those 2 are returning outfielders from this team. They also have some transfers from NC State, from Wake Forest. In the rotation, a Georgia transfer who throws mid-90s, a 5th-year senior who had Tommy John surgery, but he comes back. He was great in 2023, and Jonathan Gonzalez. And Ethan Phillips, who's an Indiana transfer, Turner Spoljaric, who's an Oregon transfer, Dylan Jacobs began his career at Florida State, and then they return their closer, Zane Coppersmith, another hell of a name for you guys with these baseball names.
Zane Coppersmith. All right.
Yeah.
So, and shout out to the chat. Benny in the chat found it. 250-1. for the Stetson Hatters. So if I put $40 on this, bringing home 10K.
Tabulating.
Yeah, I mean,
You know I'm a degenerate.
I like that. A little long-term sprinkle there for the Stetson Hatters. Noah, I know we have some action here on Friday coming up. Of course, everyone's going to be subscribing to the College Baseball Experience. If they haven't already, they're going to be following Noah on X at NoahB77. But Noah, give us your 2 favorite plays for Friday college baseball. And Ryan, we hopefully we can get out there in time to get down on some of
these day games, or they play night.
No,
there's a couple 1 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Give us your 2 favorite, Noah.
All right, 2 favorite. I'll go with. Don't know what the prices are going to be, so that's tough with like favorite and if it's going to be truly a good bet. But Colby's going to hate this. It's North Carolina. East Carolina's really struggled to open up the year. They lost last Friday. They lost last Friday to George Mason.
School now, North Carolina.
They lost last Friday to George Mason. It was not a good look. I don't think Mason's a very good team. And then their 2 wins against Mason was only by 1 run in both of them. Then in the midweek,
a win is a win is a win.
Then today against Campbell, they lost 3-2. A Campbell team that I don't think is very good either. They were striking out just over 40% of the time against UCSB, who's a good program, but I just don't think Campbell was really ever competitive in that series. So I'm really worried about East Carolina. They've got a handful of pitching injuries already, which is what burned them last year from having a really good team. And I already talked about that North Carolina team. I'm really high on them. This is a unique series where the first game's at East Carolina. So it's at the Jungle at Clark LeClaire Stadium in Greenville. Then the second game is at the Durham Bulls Stadium in Durham, of course. And then the third game, North Carolina hosts. So it's a true home, neutral home.
I hear sweep.
Colby,
you're he's underestimating the little brother angle.
Okay.
We're coming for you. We're coming for you, Tar Heels, with your goddamn charcuterie. All right. Sorry.
This is like when you see the.
Is Belichick going to install the hedges at the baseball stadium as
well?
Yeah, that would be sweet if you get some hedges there in the outfield, a la
the irony,
Wrigley.
Installing hedges there and at home, no hedges to be found anywhere.
Noah, one more college baseball play.
Yeah, this one I'm just going to give you because of the storyline. I think this is probably going to be in the minus 190, 200 range. It's a good parlay piece. Money line parlays. Those are a way to make good money in college baseball. Don't doubt it. Kansas State last year pretty much eliminated Arkansas from the NCAA tournament. They went to Fayetteville in that regional. They won the regional. They beat Arkansas Saturday night, and then Sunday morning, Arkansas got eliminated by the 4th seed Southeast Missouri State. So I think there's going to be quite a good animosity from the Hogs. Their fan base travels really well. This is at Globe Life Field. I was just there last weekend. Arkansas last year during the same exact weekend was at this field, and their ace had a breakout moment. Hagen Smith struck out, I believe it was 17 hitters or 16 hitters, one of the two. And Gabe Gackle is a guy that I'm really high on. And they did the same thing. They did the same thing with Hagen Smith.
Gackle sounds like, am I wrong?
Without looking it up.
Oh, sorry, my Gackle got all over the place.
Well, without looking it up on Urban Dictionary, I assume it's when someone laughs with a dick in their mouth.
Okay, yeah, it's like a gaggle, but there's something else in there. All right.
Yeah, like it's a little too deep, which is funny and makes you laugh.
All right, sorry to interrupt serious baseball handicapping.
No, you're good, because I already talked about Arkansas too. I'm high on this team, and I think Gackle's going to have a really good moment on Flow Sports. Unfortunately, not like national television or whatever. Really? So you gotta have a subscription to it. But Arkansas had some good moments last year during this tournament. I think once again they're going to have some breakout moments on the mound where the country's going to be like, oh yeah, these guys are for real once again. They just need the offense to score 5, and then you win the game. So I like Arkansas.
All right, so we got Arkansas and North Carolina on Friday. We got our Stetson long shot 66-1 to make it to Omaha 250-1 to win it all, and then Texas A&M, UNC are some like regular size plays. Feel like we're filling up a card here, Ryan.
Yeah, and real quick, gackle. It is the guttural gagging sound that precedes the full explosion of vomit.
What is that in Urban Dictionary?
Yeah, gackle. Doesn't mention the
That
dick,
is a
but
disgusting act.
the example. You know, they always like to use it in a sentence. As Henry pulled the plug of tobacco from his mouth, he gackled at the realization that it was in fact human. I don't know. The rest of this is not funny, but essentially he threw up because he had a fat lipper in.
Well, Noah, appreciate it. Thanks for hopping on. I know everyone is going to be subscribing to the College Baseball Experience wherever they get their podcasts. Follow Noah on X at NoahB77. _ appreciate you hopping on here, Noah.
Thanks
for giving us some plays and let it ride.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I'm looking forward to hearing whatever play that has the most CLV that Kramer plugs every time I join Vison's show this spring.
Oh yes, exactly.
Well, Stetson, it sounds like.
Yeah,
It sounds
already getting some CLV on Stetson.
Excuse me while I hop on the futures roll.
Yeah, once Kramer gets in, then that number's going to get cut in half. CLV is
actually.
pretty
Let's
easy
move
to
the
get in
Stetson
college
number when we
baseball.
get to the circa.
Well, perfect transition because good time to mention Edge Boost. We partnered up with Edge Boost, the premier Visa debit card for bettors. Again, my favorite part is the free cashback rewards. That's right. Every month, first of the month, I know got to pay some bills, but also I get my Edge Boost rewards, which means I'm getting down on some crazy long shots. So I cannot wait. I will be firing on some Stetson stuff. Hopefully it's still there March 1st when I get my next batch of Edge Boost rewards. Go to edgeboost.bet. Use a promo code SGPN. Again, it's great because you're not gonna have your card denied. You're not gonna get those crazy cash advance fees, the ATM fees. There's so many ways people. Unfortunately, in the gaming industry, really. With the fees, it's a lot. Edge Boost is free, FDIC insured, and again, up to $750 cash back, which you can use for more awesome bets. Edgeboost.bet. Use the promo code SGPN, so you get that tier 2 status. Edgeboost.bet. Promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie, love MyBookie, great for the live in-game. Of course, the easy deposit, easier withdrawals on that sweet cryptocurrency. Available from a ton of locations. Wherever you are, you can always get down on MyBookie.ag. And of course, we'll be giving out some plays, college basketball here in just a second, that you can get over at MyBookie.ag. Use that promo code SGPN. Get that deposit match up to $1,000 and a $10 free casino chip. Who knows what kind of damage you could go? $10. Don't let them get hot.
Started with less.
Yeah, I made an all-time run at the Excalibur $5 blackjack table back in the day. Maybe you could test your luck there over at the MyBookie Casino. 100% match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply on the bonuses. There's some rollover, so make sure you read that if you want to get down on the bonus. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Colby.
I was gonna say, do you want to talk about that blackjack run? At the I don't think it was the Excalibur. I think you're talking about.
No, that was a different the one I went on with you, that was a different blackjack run.
Oh yeah, you had an Excalibur run.
Yeah, I cashed in $5 and got it up to like $285. It was pretty awesome.
My best run at the Excalibur was, for those who really know will remember, they had like a 3-table poker room in the back before like this was right around poker starting to be a thing. Played with a buddy of mine from college, ran up a nice $1,000 profit. This is back too. Yeah. When you're like, I might've had $400 in my wallet getting to Vegas. So more than doubling up. Anyway, you had a question for Colby.
Colby, what is going on with these records? We gotta improve. The only saving grace is me going 2-1 on the locks. Colby, I'll say this, at least Syracuse, we should have got home. They lost by 11. We picked it at 10.5. That was unfortunate. But even we got kind of fortunate with Villanova. Villanova blowing that game.
Hold on, I'm watching the game tape real quick. Dog lost. I didn't take enough favorites, Sean.
Well, Lipscomb was a favorite you took that didn't get home for you there, Ryan.
But again, the only one.
Maybe, yeah, you did lose on some dogs. See, you should have stuck to your guns.
I should have.
But you hit on some, you know.
Hey, by the way,
Villanova, you hit as a dog. TCU, you hit as a dog.
I'm just getting my lasers focused, coming off a long, grueling, very profitable football season.
Yes, NFL season.
We're getting into it now.
Colby,
now, Colby
we brought in Patino to try and give us, and most importantly, you a pep talk to try and center the aura. But who are we blaming for this cold streak here?
Well, I mean, look, Syracuse should have covered. Actually, that closing number, I think you did cover.
Yeah, it was 11 and a half.
Yeah,
closings.
yeah. The Purdue Michigan State one, that's just. I mean, Tom Izzo's got this Michigan State team looking like a serious contender.
I feel dumb because it was a rare time where I'm like, Michigan State, they just set that record. Purdue has lost a bunch in a row. And you can attribute a similar handicap to Kansas, who Kansas just lost to Utah. We
got to talk about that one. Like
how
Kansas,
did they not get up for this game? And that
Kansas
was an ass kicking.
In my lifetime, I've never seen Kansas look this terrible. They just look like an average basketball team within the Big 12. So, yeah, I mean, that one is completely shocking to me. Bobby Hurley's Bobby Hurley. Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, sometimes this hits you more mid-major games because I nailed the Atlantic Sun with Florida Gulf Coast and Eastern Kentucky.
Eastern Kentucky, we were all over
games, I agree with Colby. I'm 2-6.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I put Bowling Green on there for you, brother. I put Bowling Green on there for you. That was not there.
Bowling Green was also a bad beat because they lose by 7 and we had them catching 6.5. So, all right. Let's not fumble the bag. Let's get things locked in.
We're recording during the UCLA game.
Yes.
Which,
Colby's on Minnesota. We're on UCLA.
Which, by the way, real quick, circling back to be a real journalist.
Yes.
I didn't go deep into all the cases, but it does seem like Richie Incognito has 3 separate times apologized for racist comments.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not defending Richie.
Again, might not be guilty, but 3 times he felt the need to apologize.
I can't speak to his character. What I can speak to was that original bullying story sounded like bullshit, and it seems like I was right on that one.
Now, the last thing about it, how does the line? I'm blanking on his name. The Stanford lineman. How does this not come up sooner?
Jonathan Martin. Yeah.
Jonathan Martin. Is there a chance he's just like a little cuckoo and this is some sort of like show up for more money or show up for some sort of like,
I thought it was a story broke it, right?
I'm just saying, what's the relevance of this happening now?
The story coming out, like someone did a dive on it, right?
That's what I mean. Like why now? Like what happened to cause this? Was it just random timing?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't read the entire story. I just know
he's not selling something.
He came out and said that he didn't feel like he was bullied. So
not that I want to be in the camp defending Richie Incognito because he is like a henchman, which every good football team normally has like a henchman guy. But he was the national ambassador to Boo to Bullying, an anti-bullying nonprofit in Los Angeles in 2018. In 2018, there.
He signed some contracts after the incident. He got
but he also got screwed and lost millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, Kramer. This is a guy that was a 4-time Pro Bowler. He should be in the Hall before Eli Manning.
Wow.
Oh no. I
mean, again, if you want to have an actual discussion, we can have that. But I'm sure you didn't watch the games. And I'm sure the Mannings with their long history in the great state of Mississippi and Louisiana. There's no dirt if you go far enough back, right? I'm sure there's plenty of dirt. I don't know.
Oh yeah, let's call me. That's what we got to do. We got to start digging up some dirt on the Mannings. I'm sure there's some. Well, I mean, you want to talk about Peyton and the certain athletic trainer.
What do you mean? His wife was using HGH.
Oh well, that wasn't even, that wasn't the incident I was talking about. There's a trainer at the college.
Oh, at Tennessee when he was slapping asses.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what Eli's got in his closets?
Well, what do you mean? Eli was far worse in college. He had the alcohol stuff. Like Do you remember Eli in college?
No, I
What?
don't actually.
Why
He
didn't
liked
you
to
go to
get
the
loose.
Chargers? Huh? What's the real story behind that?
Because he got the old man's got the media connections in New
mean,
York. They can sweep things under the rug. You know how they Madison
Oh, yeah.
Avenue
In
types,
fairness,
yeah.
Colby.
if
Oh,
we
yeah.
look at that in hindsight, it was the correct maneuver. Easily. So
Was it?
You don't, how do you know? I mean, if he goes and plays on the Chargers, they might.
Yeah,
go to-
he Sean, he might have been better than average on the Chargers with North Turner's offense. You know,
You're either implying that the Giants carried him.
what do you mean?
Well, because if
No, I'm saying it worked out for him as far as a career. Played for one team, won multiple championships, probably monetized himself as much as he possibly could have being there in New York.
I don't know about that. Maybe a more aggressive offense, he would have actually put up good stats.
You guys,
Yeah.
I'll say this: you guys were way more right about the Richie Incognito thing than this one. Way more right. And you guys want to break? We're 35 minutes into the show. I know you generally like to go slow.
well, Kramer, are we letting Colby pick 16 games? Because I feel like, I feel like this is maybe he's got to earn that right.
Go ahead. Cut off Army, America's basketball team, Sean. We'll see how you do there, huh?
I see that he has American and Army.
North Dakota State versus South Dakota.
That's
State.
the Dakota marker rivalry. Good God. I mean,
So what do they?
Wait, what does that mean? Like,
What do they get? Like some piece of wood that's been painted by some old chief.
the
What is this?
TMZ effect
You're being a real
is
Richie Incognito right now.
unbelievable right now.
Oh, this Dakota marker. Come on, this thing.
It means something. This is a piece of America right here. All right.
All right. So America, Sean, let's start. That we're talking about games on Wednesday, February 19th. We're going to do rapid fire for the games that we think shouldn't be on the sheet.
Great.
American taking on Army. When I was in college, I knew about American because it was the school that had all the women. So I looked it up. What is the demographic of American today? Would you believe it, Sean? 67% of the school is female.
It's a good ratio.
Interesting. And now Army's showing up. Wait a second. This is in Army. So no advantage. I was actually American could be a little bit of the Radford situation here where you seen those videos that at least they've been popping into my algorithm where you walk down the street in Thailand and then women just rape you like it's Fremont Street in Vegas. Sean's witnessed this. When you're down at Fremont Street in Las Vegas, you gotta be careful. They will sexually assault you out there. The women, they're very aggressive. Anyway, Army is hosting American and they're 67% female student body, none of which who play on the men's basketball team. Why are we talking about this game in beautiful West Point, New York?
Because first place is on the line in the Patriot League, which is a historic conference that you should check out one day. Dwayne Simpkins is the head coach of American. He played point for Maryland University under Gary Williams. You might remember they won a national championship. I'm not sure if you watched that national championship. Yeah, I mean, look, Army's fresh off that. I felt great about that play. One of these bad plays that we had recently.
Yeah,
was we all thought Army was the play against Navy. Navy completed the sweep.
I'm just laughing at Colby's use of "we," where
he's really
it's like when my wife goes, "We should really work on cleaning out this garage here." I'm like, "Yeah, we're gonna get right on it." Carrying all this heavy shit to the curb.
When does this
What
happen?
are you gonna do?
The women get this like coded language lesson. And
yeah, they all of a sudden it's a lot of "we" stuff.
How to say shit like they're gonna do something.
But yes, we were wrong on that one, Colby.
Yeah, you were talking about Dwayne Simpkins, who I believe went to DeMatha High School.
My father's high school. Yes, my father's high school, and that will. I mean, that's really all the reason you need right now. No, but I think it's all about the spot, right? Army just got embarrassed by Navy for a second time. They're coming home.
Dream crusher.
American has been pretty damn good. They're 9-1 in their last 10 games. I think Army is going to clip them here and make this race tight down the stretch. Jalen Rucker, their guard's a stud, one of the best players in the Patriot League. He's been in college for a minute too. So he had I think like an ACL injury a year ago, but yeah, give me the Black Knights at home to right their wrongs.
Feel great fading Army here.
Yep.
I'm all over American. This is that was Army season. The Dream Crusher spot. They lost to Navy twice. They're not going to get up for this game, and they've been bad ATS off a loss. 3-5 ATS off a loss. America cruises. Wrong team favored.
Yeah, no, and with all those cuts that Elon and Doge are doing, I'm sure Army probably missing.
They
a
even
team,
have a basketball.
probably
coach.
missing a team manager or something like that. The guy who keeps the stats. Cincinnati heads to West Virginia, Morgantown, 4 p.m. here on the West Coast. Beautiful Morgantown, West Virginia. If you've never been there, you've never been pepper sprayed in Morgantown. West Virginia laying 3.5. Colby, always the weird road trip for the Big 12 / old Big East.
Well, this is like this is a rival. Like this is kind of a rivalry game that in my opinion, the Big 12 should sell. The potential for a gigantic rivalry would be there, especially with the Huggins history. They should sell this more, in my opinion. They should push this more. Play this during the rivalry weekend. West Virginia did go into Cincinnati. What was that? February 2nd, and won by 13. That was a surprising outcome there. But I do think since then, Cincinnati's kind of turned a corner. Meanwhile, West Virginia's kind of dinged up. I think Jizzle James and the Cincinnati Bearcats come in there, knock off the Mountaineers there. I think it's a good spot for them. They're playing better basketball right now, in my opinion. Well, you're looking at West Virginia's 3-7, their last 10. And really it's an issue of depth, I think, with the injuries they've accumulated.
Can we get eyes on Jizzle James? I gotta know what a guy named Jizzle is.
I was actually looking up his name to see if it's a nickname.
So Colby, you're on Cincinnati,
but I got his image. If you
I am
the 3.5. Okay.
I am.
There he is.
All right. You know,
like this new headshot availability that I have.
Yeah, this is fun. Jizzle
Kinda
coming
looks
in
like
here.
Pac-Man a little bit, right?
Yeah, he's got.
Might be a little racist or
probably. Yeah,
a little bit. Okay.
Well, he's he's in the Big 12 there. Well, he's.
It should be mentioned that's Edgerrin James' son.
Oh, I knew he looked familiar.
Yeah.
Okay.
He has another son too on Howard.
Why would he? So neither of his kids play football, huh? Oh, dude, this guy, his name is Edgerrin James Jr. His real name.
Oh, and they call him Jizzle.
Jizzle is his.
His other son is on the football team at Howard. I meant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Now he's saying I can definitely see Edgerrin James Jr. I'm going against Colby. I know West Virginia's banged up, but I don't know. You're looking at the advanced metrics. This should be a little bit. I think this spread should be higher. West Virginia's defense has been good. Cincinnati hasn't been good as a dog. I think this is you're buying low here on West Virginia. I think this should be a higher number. And yeah, they lost to BYU Baylor, but they've had a couple days to recover, and I think they'll be all right here. So I'm taking Cincinnati laying the 3.5. Kramer, what are you doing?
Yeah, Edgerrin James Jr., aka Jizzle's brother Eden, plays for the Howard football team. Why are you named Jizzle? It's your on court. It's my on court persona.
Oh, yes.
Young people are so strange. So you can't describe something by saying the thing. It doesn't really work. But yeah, I mean, he's Edgerrin James's kid. How come we're just learning about this, Sean? Dare I agree with Colby here?
Okay, you're thinking Cincinnati and Jizzle.
I like Jizzle. Yeah, give me.
You're a big fan of Jizzle.
Give me Jizzle. On the court, big fan of Jizzle. 4 p.m. on the West Coast, heading to Chapel Hill. We were just talking about North Carolina for baseball. Now we get the NC State UNC rivalry for basketball. UNC, do you think they rank? What is it? Football or baseball 1, football 2, basketball 3? At this point, where's the lacrosse team? They're pretty good too. Is basketball even an important sport to North Carolina anymore?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if they buy out Hubert Davis or not. I'm hearing that he might be back next year, which would be pretty shocking. But then again, they could still get into the NCAA tournament with a huge win here and some other wins. But this is a rivalry game. NC State's been terrible, like normal. 1-9 in their last 10. This though is just a big number.
They almost beat North Carolina.
They should have beat North Carolina that game. They should have beat North Carolina that game. If you watch that game,
mean, this is. I'm all over. You can. UNC's unbettable. There are how many teams? 300 something, 350,
364.
364.
Jesus Christ! Now we're gonna get those 3-star reviews.
North Carolina, second to last ATS, 7-18-1. Who is worse than them, percentage wise, Colby?
What's their percentage?
26%, 28%.
ATS 20.
ATS 28%. And
I feel like I know this.
There's one
Shout out
team
to
that's
follow the money. They always go over.
There's
the best
one team that's 26.1%.
I'm not gonna come up with it.
Is it Kansas?
No.
It's gonna
my first guess would be who?
It is Sam Houston State.
No, I wouldn't.
Oh, that's a good one. I should have figured that.
They are 6-17-1, or sorry, 6-17 against the number. North Carolina 7-18-1. They're just an auto fade. I'm not playing North Carolina.
Easy money.
NC State catching the double
2
digits.
in a row.
You got to take the pussy pack here. I do think they're a terrible team, but they get up for this. The same situation happened at Duke. At Duke, they played Duke probably better than almost every team that Duke's beat. Duke ended up winning that game late, but they went into Cameron Indoor and they played them tough. So I think something similar will happen in Chapel Hill here.
All right, for another 4 p.m. West Coast tip, we're heading to Johnson City, Tennessee. Sean, this is one we probably could just execute right here. Greensboro, East Tennessee State. East Tennessee State laying 1.5. By the looks of it, these must be two of the top teams in their tiny little conference. We all love the SoCon. Used to be a specialist over there, Sean.
Yep.
Based on KenPom, East Tennessee State, 2 of the 5 all conference players, which I guess that would give them a potential edge here. Colby, I guess you can explain why this game's even on the card.
Well, you have this race for what is called a SoCon regular season championship, and Greensboro is currently in second place. East Tennessee State's the Buccaneers. They're in 4th place, but they're still very much alive down the stretch here to essentially get this thing. So it's a gigantic game, I think it's one of the best games of the day, to tell you the truth. These games always deliver for the most part. And you look at ETSU, they've lost 2 straight. You look at Greensboro, they've won 4 straight. Something's got to give here. I think more pressure is on the Buccaneers. I think Brooks Savage and company get that win at home. I like laying the 1.5. They're 11-3 at home this year. It's really the road that's been the real enemy for them. So let's go. They're the great offensive rebounding team as well. So let's load up.
Do like a good Colby knows how to suck me in with the great rebounding. Kramer, what are you doing here?
Well, I was going to point out that Torvik only gives this a 50 on his excitement meter, which is out of 100. And let's see, my boy KenPom, the thrill score 42.3. I mean, for reference, the Bama Missouri game is an 88.9. So
what's the NC State North Carolina game?
Oh, I like this. He's challenging the metric. NC State, North Carolina is a thrill score of 34.4.
Oh, and what was Virginia Tech Boston College tonight?
And a 54 on the Torvik. Virginia Tech. I don't know why that's coming up. We weren't discussing them. I don't think it went well. The real score was 38.9.
Kramer's real team is Texas A&M, and also did not go well for them tonight. But
thanks for bringing it up. Although, I mean, Sean was getting to live what is the following buzz on the sideline as he slowly takes his clothes off throughout the game.
He's like a chick at a wedding. Starts with all the clothes on, then starts dancing, working up a little heat, then stuff starts coming up. Where's my shawl?
Yeah, 10-minute mark, the button comes undone.
Left
for the
my
jacket.
purse there.
By halftime, the jacket's off. You're seeing that beautiful vest. So what do we? So you're on the Buccaneers.
I am. They're in the more desperate spot. They're in the more desperate spot here, defending home court. They've been fire at home this year. Buccaneers get it done.
I'm going UNCG. They've been good on the road, ATS, and East Tennessee State's been good at home, but not great against the number. And they're a desperate team because they're not a great team. So I'll take UNCG as a small dog here.
And yeah,
Kramer, what are you doing?
It's all about the 3-point line. They defend it, they shoot it, And what are we doing? Fading Colby.
Oh wow, Kramer. I didn't say that.
What do you mean?
I just came to my own conclusion here on UNC Greensboro.
When a shooter's cold, the shooter's cold. You got to see it coming. Maybe the tide turns, but it's easy to see a tide turn. SMU, Notre Dame. We're heading to South Bend, Indiana. This is a true Illuminati. North meets South. 4 p.m. here on the West Coast. SMU laying the 2.5 on the road. Have we talked about Notre Dame all year, Colby?
Well, we talked about him last show because of the coach and his like rant.
Oh yeah.
That was them getting on and they lost by 15 at home at Louisville.
Who?
Calling out the Louisville.
Yeah.
He was calling out the fans. He called out himself. He called out the doubters. Everyone made the list.
Didn't have to break the mic. Now some poor IT guy's got to figure that one out.
Kramer always feels sympathetic for the IT
it's just
guy.
unnecessary. You're going to take it out on an inanimate object. Like, what a low IQ maneuver. You know what happens when you punch a door? Your hand hurts.
Well, here's how I'd handicap the Notre Dame team, and Colby chime in here, but Notre Dame, their big issue is defense. They are not a great defense, and defense is effort. And I would imagine you're gonna get the best effort from this Notre Dame team after that rant. Maybe some fans show up. I don't know if SMU really deserves to be a road favorite. What am I missing, Colby? Isn't the play here Notre Dame is a home dog?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could play the SMU's trying to make the NCAA tournament angle, but this is a team that lost by 15 at North Carolina. That's SMU. Shrewsbury's got his son on the team. I think that message gets home a little more. And I think it's just, I don't think SMU is any good. You look at their schedule, they've beaten really nobody. And Notre Dame, I think the message, I was high on this Notre Dame team coming into the season. I thought they would be better. They wake up a little bit here. Marcus Burton's been healthy. I think he's one of the probably the best player in this game. Give me the Irish at home. Strange road game too. Like for SMU, you're like, we're getting on a train, we're getting on a plane to Chicago, then going into South Bend. It's just they've never had a history of playing each other in basketball. So it's just a strange game. Give me Notre Dame.
I mean, yeah, both.
In fairness, they're undefeated on the road since that loss to North Carolina. Granted, they haven't had the toughest competition.
Look at their schedule, dude. It's one of the more hilarious schedules.
Yeah, but I mean, you could say the same thing about Notre Dame.
No, I don't.
2 of their wins in conference have come against Boston College, who's absolute ass. They also took care of a Georgia Tech team that's not very. All right, you know what? Give me SMU.
Okay, the Mustangs. Yeah, no, this is a get it up, back against the wall moment. For
Notre Dame fans don't care about basketball right now.
No, they might.
No, they don't. They don't care about this coach breaking the mic. That's not cool. They're a football school. Vanderbilt, Kentucky. This smells like a big time game in Lexington, Kentucky. 4 p.m. on the West Coast. Kentucky laying 5.5 against Vanderbilt. Does Pavia travel for the road games? How does that work, Colby?
They need to bring them there because they're going to need their big dick energy because they need to steal one of these games. I see Damani in the chat there. I know Damani's a Vandy grad, and they need to
wait. Just real quick, this number's 5.5 only because Ken Pom has this as 10. I'm surprised he's that far off.
Double check that.
No, because usually it'll be a few points. 4.5 seems to be a pretty big difference for.
You think Colby screwed this one up?
No, I'm just surprised, and I think it's probably worth double checking. Sorry to interrupt, Colby. Do we like Vandy here? Vandy's been good against the number. They've had some moments where they show up. They've been a frisky home dog. They've been a tough out in conference. They did just beat Texas. That was at home, but then they've kind of had some moments too where they've showed up a little bit on the road. Obviously, this feels like a game where they're going to get up, but it's a back-to-back game here, and they hung around.
They should have. Dude, no, they had the lead like majority of that game.
Confirmed 5.5 and 6 is out there.
Okay, yeah, I guess to me, I want to be on Vandy, but this is a back-to-back road spot after maybe a little bit of a dream crusher game, but this Vandy team's been tough to get a handle on. I feel like when I'm finding spots to fade them is when they show up, and vice versa. What are you doing, Colby?
It also, from what I can tell, it opened 7 and has been bet down. So I don't know if that helps with the clues.
Sharp money.
Yeah, I'm a lot like Jeff there in the chat. I like Vandy, but Vandy did storm the court on them back on
oh no, yeah,
on January 25th. I still take the points because Alabama's on deck for Kentucky. It's kind of a look ahead. Vandy needs a win. They were right there for that Tennessee game, man. Like they were very close to being able to win that game.
I'll take Vandy, but yeah, I don't feel
I buy your look ahead if they didn't just lose to Texas.
Yeah,
they're coming home.
Are you taking Kentucky,
spot.
right?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. I've been real Jekyll and Hyde with Kentucky this year. Oh, another island game for me. That was a good spot for me to be in. Providence, Georgetown. This is a classic, and it's the cool. What are we calling this, Colby? Do we have a name for the Cooley Bowl? DC plays host this time, so the crazies up there in Providence will have to make the road trip, or maybe
the chili cool off. The chili cool off.
The chili cool off.
Yeah.
Is that a reference to something sexual? 4 p.m. on the West Coast. Georgetown laying 3.5 here. They obviously get revenge, right?
We have to take Providence here.
No, really. So we're still not in on Cooley. Is it?
I shout out to my guy Clark.
Is this not a Georgetown spot, Coley?
Shout out to my guy Clark, who is a he DM'd me, a big Georgetown Hoya fan. He goes, just so you know, because the books don't. Georgetown is laying 3.5 right now. Sorber is 100% not playing. Orsunda and
really?
Caleb Williams is going to be out. 7 scholarship players. Wow. So I think we got to jump. I think we got to jump on Providence.
Does this Caleb Williams also paint his nails, or is that just Chicago Bears Caleb Williams?
Well,
I don't know. I don't look at.
I'm not going to factor in the handicap. I'm just curious
I'm
about.
starting to relate to Richie Incognito blocking you. All this hate you're spewing.
So we like I mean, again, Providence cares about this game way more.
You're telling me they only got 7 scholarship guys.
Yeah.
All right. Taking Providence.
This is
based off that tip. These inside tips always go well.
Putting money on it so I don't forget to get mad when this. All right. Well, what? It's 4. I can get a full 4.
All right. We calling it at 4 or 3.5.
We can do it.
Let's take the 4.
I'm placing a bet right.
All right. Colby wants the 4. We'll get down on Providence catching 4 points.
I'm going to put a rational amount of money on this. We'll circle back tomorrow. See how it does.
And of course, if you're looking to get down on some extra action, why not Underdog Fantasy? That's right. You can get up to 100x in their pick'em. Underdog Fantasy is great. Adds so much fun, especially if you really know college basketball. You can take advantage of some of these markets. Tried to tell Colby we should take Dixon over 1.5 or higher 1.5 threes. We took the total points. That didn't get home, but we're not living in the past. We're looking towards the future. Colby, what are some college basketball picks we like for Underdog coming up?
Let's go to the SEC. We just saw Alabama, get embarrassed on their home court by their arch rivals.
Yes.
If you followed Bama this year, they've been able to score, and Grant Nelson's been a big part of that. He has struggled the past 2 games at Texas and home to Auburn. So I think we jump on the higher 12.5 as he goes to Mizzou. People don't even realize Mizzou's in the SEC. They're the team everyone forgets about. Great place to have a 20-point game and get back on track.
I do like that. I like the little stat pad in there.
Yeah. What
are we pairing them with?
Well, Boise was embarrassed by San Diego State the other day, which I still can't believe.
Who saw that coming?
Yeah, unbelievable. You let a freshman and sophomore team take down a bunch of seniors. Terrible coaching job by Leon Rice. I'm gonna take you. Boise is taking on New Mexico. New Mexico just had a gigantic win that solidified first place pretty much, but now they got to go to Boise. Tyson Degenhart. I'm sorry. Higher than 17.5 points.
Really?
Yeah, because their Boise's due for a get up spot.
I'm a degenerate.
At New Mexico?
The Pit?
No. It's at Boise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Oh, yes. I was reading it wrong. Okay. So we got Grant Nelson higher 12.5 points, and we got Tyson Degenhart higher 17.5 points.
You using that 33% college basketball boost?
No, let me see if that's. They probably only give that to Squares, right?
Is that for
I don't know.
All right, I'm getting.
I don't know if that's
noob tax.
Yeah, it's probably. Let's see if I got. Nope, nothing to see here.
Wow, okay.
But a normal entry would Hunter would return you 282. Underdogfantasy.com promo code SGPN.
Was that UCLA?
UCLA's up by 1 right now with minute 49 left.
Wow,
Minnesota just hit a 3.
Comeback.
See San Diego State rolling too. Colby, should we take a little future position on San Diego State?
I mean, Dutch is such a great coach. I just think that team's inexperienced, and it's shown this year they haven't been as much as a machine as normal. So I mean,
San Diego State 100-1 to get to the Final Four. That was kind of intriguing.
I think they're too young. You look at most of the teams that get to the Final Four, they got experience. Yeah.
If we saw it coming, if we liked it, then it would be 100-1, right?
I think like there's better probably that are 100-1 that you can find with more experience. Because normally
who's a long shot to get to the Final Four that you might like, Colby?
Let me see right now. But my thing is, another thing is like they're a little dinged up, so I don't know the timetable of when everyone will be healthy, but I would say to me they're a team that I don't think can. They're not even in the NCAA tournament right now. They have to win them. They have to win the Mountain West. So
Akron, that a good bet?
That's I think a better bet.
Ooh, see
Akron?
Yes, the Zips.
I don't know.
They're vets, right? I mean, let's see here.
I would say, what else are we looking at here? I would say
no, not vets, but they are on a heater.
Monty in the chat likes VCU 66-1.
I like that better than San Diego State this year too. And I think they can get there without winning the A10 as well. Like if they got upset in the A10 tournament, I think they're going to get the outright bid. San Diego State has work to do to even be to get there if they don't win the Mountain West championship.
Kramer, what's this? What's the next game we got up? And yeah, if you think of any other ones, toss them in, Colby. But
4:30 p.m. now on the West Coast. We're moving along. We're heading to Des Moines, Iowa. Little Drake UIC. UIC continues to be. What's the update on UIC? Are they taking big steps forward? I see Drake's only laying 10.5, which seems short.
Really? No, UIC is 5th in the Valley. Now, here's the problem. They actually ruined Drake's perfect season earlier this year in Chicago, but they hit rough seas lately, man. They actually have lost 4 of 5 4 of 5. Prior to that, they were rolling. They were right there at the top of the Valley. But they did just come off a win against Missouri State, right of the ship. Can they complete the sweep at Drake? I think Drake's gonna fuck them up personally, because I think Drake's that D2 team that's been together for a while. Drake's coming off that close loss to Bradley. I like laying the 10.5. I think Drake remembers that UIC clipped him in Chicago. Lay that number.
Who won the pace battle in the first game?
The first game was 74-70.
All right, so yeah, Drake would prefer to play a lower scoring game than that, I assume.
And
I'm all over Drake here. To Colby's point, like the revenge factor, they're good off a loss. They don't lose a bunch of games, period. They're
and they blew this game. They had the game under control until the halfway through the second half, and they completely blew it.
Yeah, I like Drake a lot here. Kramer, what are you doing?
Yeah, of course. UIC is something that you don't want to hear a doctor say. The North. Wait, this is a big game. This is the biggest game on the slate. By the way, we were talking in the production meeting that this is actually not Colby's 16 best bets. This is just the 16 games that he thinks people will like to watch the most.
Yeah, but I said give us the 16 best bets. That's the goal.
Yeah,
it's hard to do that when the lines aren't out when I make the sheet.
The 6-pack was always so confusing to me. 5 p.m. on the West Coast. We're heading to South Dakota, where they're going to be battling over land rights or something like that. I get the natural minerals here. -7.5 for South Dakota State. North Dakota State's a football school, aren't they, Colby?
Both are football schools, I believe.
Oh wow, throwing shade at both Dakotas. Continue.
And both have had their moments in March, right? Remember Mike Dom? You remember Mike Dom for
that was excellent. I feel like that cost us money though.
That did cost us money. We bought in.
We were very high on that situation.
That did cost us money. But what have I told you, Sean? That in the past 20 years these teams have played, North Dakota State has a 1-game lead.
Oh, it's tight.
1-game lead. Yeah, now get this though.
Yeah.
South Dakota State's won the last 2.
Okay.
They've won the last 2. And actually they've won them kind of decisively, like by 10 back on January 30th, and then by 17 last season in the Summit League tournament. So I think North Dakota State's due here. The problem is South Dakota State is 12-0 at home.
Yes.
So I cannot fade this arena. I will lay the number with South Dakota State as they continue to roll. North Dakota State got them in football this year with the sweep. South Dakota State gets them in a sweep in basketball.
I love North Dakota State here. Home of the great quarterbacks Carson Wentz, Trey Lance.
No, you don't mean that.
No, but a rivalry game and you're getting 7.5 points. That to me is crazy. And North Dakota's been good on the road. 7-5 ATS. I think they're certainly, I get it. South Dakota State's in their arena, yada, yada. But yeah, I think that's it's just way too many points for a rivalry game. And yeah, North Dakota's they're not horrible.
No, this is another reason why the game's great is because they're both in the top 4 in the conference, so they're all jockeying for position for the seeding.
And South Dakota State beat them at home. This is a chance to get some revenge, and I think they're going to be up for this game. So yeah, give me South Dakota or North Dakota State.
What do you know about Oscar Clough?
Oh yeah, Washington State transfer. Yeah.
Hey, you want a rebound, mate? Hey, good eye. Put another free throw on the Bobby. What's his name?
Oscar Clough.
And he's from Australia.
He's from Australia.
He was in Pullman. He was in Pullman last year. Yeah.
And I'm actually going to follow him on X. He's only got 438.
We can probably get him on the show.
He's only got 438 followers. Colby, let's
look at this boomerang inbound pass. We're gonna take it to South Dakota State. Mate.
I'm just going to start.
You call that a tip? I call this a tip.
It's at Clough Oscar. We could just start if everyone watching right
just
now,
do Pick Dundee quotes about this guy.
Come on, dude, get his attention. We got to get this guy on the show. I mean, he's starting for a Summit League team. Colby, this is a big deal.
He's a baller. He's a baller.
Colby is secretly impressed right now with my ball knowledge, and the headshots are amazing. And shout out to ESPN.
Great.
Just cropped out for me and just covers
Clear
Colby's
PNGs.
face perfectly. Bradley taking on.
Kramer, I have no idea who you're picking.
What do you mean? I showed Oscar Clough. I'm on the Jackrabbits. You lay the points here. Right, you weren't paying attention to any of my handicaps.
Colby, did at any point Kramer say what team he was picking?
No. He just talked about Oscar Clough.
No.
Yeah. And I pointed out that I really like the Jackrabbits because North Dakota State's a football school. You guys need to pay attention to the breadcrumbs I leave throughout my talking. Bradley, Illinois State, is Normal Illinois? Is that the? Imagine living in a place where they decide to name the city Normal, Sean. I'm telling you, the Midwest is a really wild place. It's just short of the Amazon in terms of the exoticness. 5 p.m. on the West Coast. Bradley laying 1.5. I believe last time we talked about Bradley, they broke my heart or our.
No, they went into Drake and won at the with 10 seconds left with the dunk.
I might have had Drake on that one
on a great ghost screen. This is a great game, and so I watched the game back on January 25th, and this was a back and forth fight, man. And Bradley hit a huge 3 to basically solidify the win. They made 2 free throws after that, but they hit a huge 3, or they made 1 free throw after that. That really won this game for them. Now it's the return game, but Illinois State since that game has lost 3 straight. So they've had their issues. I think they're going to catch Bradley here after that huge win against Drake, where they think, hey, we're going to get that 1 seed. You're taking on a rival. This is a good spot, I think, for Illinois State. Despite, you can break down the numbers. I know Bradley's always a much better defensive team, but Illinois State at home has been pretty good. Rivalry game. Give me the Redbirds.
Yeah, I mean the numbers would tell you probably to look at Bradley, but I like what you said there. We're just gonna zig because of the revenge, and I will say you look at the betting splits, and for the most part, you're not going to get too much good intel early in the process, but this one very much strikes me as a game where. Let's just say the dummies, the public dummies are on one side, and the sharks, like me and Colby, are on the other.
Yeah, give me Bradley laying the 1.5. You guys are the sharps. I'll happily be the donkey in the situation.
A 20-80 split.
At Bradley, the metrics are just too good for Bradley, and Illinois State's been good at home, but not great against the number. They've actually been awesome ATS on the road. They're not at the road. They're at home. Bradley covers this number. Potential.
That game will be lit. That game will be lit. FYI.
This is.
I didn't get the lit warning. I already made.
You don't just wake up in normal and don't go to the Redbird game.
So it just seems like one of those like sci-fi cities from the future, just like some weird dystopian. Yeah, good luck with that one, Sean. Not really. 5:30 p.m. on the West Coast. We're heading to just a classic Big Ten matchup here. Oregon heads to Iowa City, Iowa to take on Iowa. Oregon laying 1.5. No trees in sight. This is an interesting one. I also think people from Iowa love to eat duck. So that tailgate commercial, they're probably just organically eating duck out in Iowa. I mean, no disrespect. I'm sure it's great duck. I assume we has Oregon been where was Oregon's last game, Colby? That will be
Eugene. They took down Rutgers by like 20.
Trouble.
This is a tricky one, man, because here's where Oregon is Iowa is on the verge of firing their head coach. I wonder about the buy-in. Then Oregon is, to me, you normally see Dana Altman teams in general when it comes around this part of the year, they start to get their shit together. They've won 2 straight. Prior to that, they had been a mess, but they've won 2 straight here. I'm starting to think this is, if you base it off other Altman years, this is where they make their push. You saw them win the Pac-12 championship last year, right? This is where they start playing really good. I'll take Oregon. I don't love this is their first time to Iowa City. So, I mean, this is a brand new, it's a stupid game, but
so many seniors too.
I'll take Oregon. I think they had a little bit of a lull. This is a nice, to Colby's point, they've won a couple in a row. Oregon to Iowa is not a crazy road trip for them. And Iowa has not been good at home. ATS 6-9. I think they could catch Iowa sleeping here. I'll take Oregon. Kramer, what are you doing?
Go ahead, Colby.
I just wanted your statement regarding only scoring 36 points in a 40-minute basketball game for the Virginia Tech Hokies program, playing fucking Boston College. Oh my God. Disgusting. Disgusting.
That is a disgusting
I've been very public about this. The 2024 donation check was not mailed.
Why'd they fire Buzz?
They didn't fire Buzz.
He deemed that there was better schools out there than this 10-palm bullshit. He said.
I mean, I'm not gonna say it, but he did. He decided that he wanted the Saudi money.
Oh wow!
Over to Texas A&M for that big check. Colby, did you know this is the best per Ken Palm's adjusted offensive metric? This is the best offense that Dana Altman's had since the 2017 team that went on a run to the Final Four.
Why do we say that though? Is that just because he's playing a bunch of slow white people in the Big Ten?
I'm using Ken Palm's adjusted offensive metric, which should be adjusted for like relativity. That just stood out to me because I don't think you would talk about this team as if they were that good.
No, you're fair, but I will say early in the year,
to your point on them going on a run like we've seen them do in the past, Sean, should we investigate an Oregon future?
They were a
ton of seniors on this team.
That's what I like that angle because Altman's got a history of doing that.
All right,
they were 40-1 to make the Final Four, Oregon, which was kind of intriguing.
Yeah, let's do that.
Put 500 on it, get 20K.
Yeah. Whatever you need. Whatever you need to feel the juice. That should be adequate for me.
You know, UCLA is 5 for 15 from the free throw line in the second half, guys, and with 1 second left.
That's really they're horrible at that.
Gonna need overtime for a cover.
You're gonna need a full court shot with 1 second left because Minnesota.
It's only a 2-pointer though somehow.
Well, they're up 2. No, yeah. Well, no, there's one more free throw coming.
Oh yeah, nothing like sweating. Absolutely nothing.
Kramer,
Oregon laying the 1.5.
Oh, okay.
That's why I like them. We were talking about the seniors, Dana Allman. Come on, pay attention. What is it? Read between the lines. Arkansas, Auburn. Auburn made us look like fools against Alabama. Impressive win there for the Smash Artist. 6 p.m. on the West Coast. Auburn laying 16.5 against Cal. Sean hopefully can give us a woo big pig suey because they're going to need it.
I like this one. Look, I understand it's the jungle. I understand it's the jungle, but coming off that rivalry win, you just the human nature of this. Arkansas has been playing a lot better lately. You know, like I understand they just lost to A&M at A&M, but they have looked the part. Like their past 5 games, I would say Arkansas has looked a lot better than when they've first played.
The problem is Arkansas has been bad ATS on the road, 2-5. The counter is to what Colby's saying is like this isn't an amazing situation spot for Auburn. It is a letdown ish. Again, they're they just beat Alabama. They just put it on them. They're coming back.
Blue Cane on deck. So that's a big deal.
They're feeling themselves. But Arkansas, I mean, like even Texas A&M, they hung around in that game. They did cover if you bet it late there, 8.5, 16.5 feels like a ton for a conference game with Coach Cal. So I'll take Arkansas in the 16.5.
Auburn wins by 9, 10, something like that. Yeah, let's go.
Lay it. If they're coming home after a road trip,
it could feel like the Florida game tonight where you felt great if you're like, man, you took Florida just to crush, just completely smash Oklahoma. And maybe that's what we get here, but I don't know. Coach Cal, I've seen enough that I'm going to buy into woo pig suey. Give me Arkansas plus 16.
See how happy Sister Jean is over Porter's demise? Disgusting. Gonzaga laying.
She keeps the receipts.
Gonzaga, who has incredibly short future prices, we were looking at earlier, laying 12.5 out in Pullman for what is this little crosstown rivalry here. You know, right in the same neck of the woods. Washington. I mean, we're still Washington State. Go Cougs. We're still Washington State program. So I assume you brought this out here, one, so we could talk about Mark had a few. And if he has any incidents coming back from the lake house this year, and 2, how are the Cougs doing?
Well, if you're looking for an angle on, to me, trying to find anything good about the demise of the Pac-12 and Oregon State and Washington State getting completely shit on, it's at least this rivalry is reborn. They had not played in 10 years before that matchup. A few weeks back. This is Washington State has been a disaster to the second half of the season for whatever worth. It's the same as football. Like they're 3-7 in their last 10 games. They just got drilled by 21 to St. Mary's. Beginning of the year, they look like a team that I thought could get to the big dance. Meanwhile, on the other side, Mark had a few, and Gonzaga, I think they're coming into form. They've won 4 straight. I think they're going to go in there. I like laying the number against Wazoo.
All right. Fun trivia. How far? Because we were recently, well, not recent, but we were in the area not too long ago. How far is Pullman, Washington from Spokane?
I think it's like an hour, right?
Care to guess, Sean?
I will say you want
miles or time.
Okay.
I got both in front of me.
Let's say 180 miles.
75 miles.
Okay.
I would have guessed much closer. For some reason, I felt like when we were in Spokane and then we were in Pullman, it was like bing bang boom, right down the road. But I'm kind of with part of the reason I had Sean look up the future price on Gonzaga is it seemed like they could be lying in the weeds a little bit, but maybe not.
Gonzaga might get hot, but I'm taking Washington State here. They've been good at home. ATS 8-3, and to Colby's point, like this is a rivalry game. This is a get up spot for Washington State. This is a spot for them to maybe save some of their season. They've been really bad, but you look at their cold run, a lot of it's been on the road at Santa Clara, at Pacific, at San Francisco, at Oregon State. They come home to Pepperdine. They get a 1-point win. I just think this is too high.
Big number
for Washington State.
Colby, were you going to say something? You were making breathing sounds.
Well, no, I think that the fans will make the trip down there.
Yeah.
They'll have a little bit of the crowd, I think there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
they'll go to that weed shop with Bigfoot on the side. Big mural Bigfoot. Still haven't spotted that guy. St. John's, DePaul. Everyone likes to celebrate DePaul Day in the Big East. We're heading to Chicago, 6 p.m. So late local time tip as well. 12.5 point spread for St. John's. I mean, I do enjoy how Pitino, like social media is actually perfect for Pitino. You would think some of the older coaches not always the best figuring the stuff out, but he's perfect in short form. Still looks a little bit like there's maybe some sort of not his blood being consumed vampire vibes, but this is an absolute game that they roll. I assume.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this because my first thought is like DePaul is a little finesse team. This is the type of team they get fucked up with. I mean, the first game they lost by 30. But UConn is on deck at the Garden. That's the only angle where I'm like, is St. John's phone it in a little bit? But I'm with you. I think we just lay it. I think we just trust Patino's as fucking psycho. First place is in sight. The 1 seed in the Big East tournament. I think the styles. DePaul's like a finesse 3-point shooting team. St. John's is a fucking get in your face and just beat your ass type of team. I'm gonna lay it, but it is a tricky spot with UConn on deck.
Yeah, it is also the weakest point of the problem is they're going to overwhelm them with their energy on defense because coach was so fucking pissed off. And that's the problem.
Yeah,
DePaul,
I'm taking St. John's. DePaul hasn't been good as
much like
dog.
this Houston
The
Arizona.
market's telling you.
Just like the Houston Arizona State game we just watched. Similar vibes. Had to sweat a little bit, but
I'm taking St. John's. DePaul's 1-4 ATS as a home dog. Maybe it's a look ahead to Connecticut, but to your point, he seems to be able to get these guys up. If it's close in the first half, he's going to unleash the hounds. So yeah, I'll take St. John's laying the big number. Kramer?
Oh yeah, definitely going to take St. John's. Way more agreeing with Colby than I anticipated. Alabama heading to Columbia, Missouri, take on Missouri. A little SEC on SEC. I mean, have you heard about the SEC? Their basketball conference now, Sean. -1.5 for Missouri. It's really going to get annoying now that they're good at basketball because they're totally going to change the tournament. That's the worst part about the SEC being good is they have the power to change the tournament. And now
that's why they want to expand, get more SEC teams into the tournament.
Next expansion will be to how many teams, Colby? 72 or 96?
I hope 72, man. 96 is. When are we going to go to Vegas the whole year?
Well, that'd be fun.
I mean, there is the element of like you are destroying one of my. No, you would be destroying.
It's perfect.
My favorite.
Not just you.
Friday. Yeah,
not just you.
I'm being selfish.
Has one person complained about this besides?
No.
like Greg Sankey? Like as
No,
as
actually,
one
no.
fucking human being, one fan said this is too little of teams.
I mean,
I don't think so.
Dan Wetzel said this perfectly. Essentially your point. Like what this is literally should be
64
last.
was fine.
This should be last on the list of problems to solve in college athletics. Like literally think about what's going on.
Expand college football first.
The one thing you have right, unequivocally you have right. No one is complaining right. Every year you get like 3 or 4 teams that are upset. It's good. They get to complain for a couple days. They get their moment in the sun and you move on. It's literally perfect. And they're going to want to change that all because the SEC is now good. Alabama catching 1.5 in Missouri after that. I don't know. I thought they were going to show up against their in-state rival. They did not. Dream Crusher, Sean.
This is another one that's like the Slick Rick one. Is I'm sorry to steal the mic. I know you asked you a question, Sean, but this one's intriguing because you have a couple game time decisions for Bama, but also Missouri's 16-1 at home. Alabama's 8-1 on the road, but Alabama has Kentucky on deck, right? So it's just a similar. And the last time Mizzou played that home game. Actually I think Oklahoma was before that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to take Mizzou. I think it's just kind of a sleepy spot. I think it's a sleepy spot. You're focusing on Kentucky and you don't really believe. I told you, like half the SEC doesn't even know Mizzou's in the SEC.
And their only loss is that A&M game. I mean, which was,
but the counter is Alabama's been good at ATS off a loss. Now it's small sample size. They've only had 3 losses, but they've covered the number after every single game. Maybe they're looking ahead to Kentucky, but they just lost to Auburn. I don't know. This one's tough because Missouri has been good at home. I assume they're going to be good at home ATS if it's only a 1.5 point spread. I will go Missouri laying the
I feel like Alabama's had a relatively easy SEC schedule so far as well. They have a lot. Like their schedule from here on out is insane. They play Missouri, Kentucky, Mississippi State, Tennessee, Florida, Auburn. It's an insane stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, could Dream Crusher could they fall out of the? Any chance they fall out of the one?
Yeah, of course there's a chance for it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you, Mizzou.
Shout out to the chat. Aristolias giving us a nice super chat. Always appreciate that. Thanks, sir. Point shaving accusations on X. Tyler Bilaudow. How do you pronounce that, Colby?
Bilodeau.
Bilodeau.
Yeah.
UCLA.
Yeah. The big man.
Sitting at 12 points. Over under was 12.5. Missed his last jumper. 3 free throws in a row.
My God.
Finish with 12 points.
That is brutal.
That is really brutal.
That is
well. I mean, the whole team shot horrible from behind or from at the line in the second half there for UCLA. So maybe, but also maybe they just were rusty from their travels.
Last one, Mountain West matchup here. New Mexico leaves the pit to take on Boise State. We were touching on this one earlier. And then last episode, you'll remember when Colby and Sean told you it was a good idea to take Boise State against San Diego State. This one's in Boise.
Double down, Sean.
We just talked about old Patino. Now we're talking about young Patino. 7 p.m. DGen Hart, Austin. Is it Austin Meadow? I feel like that's a former
Andrew Meadow.
Andrew Meadow, and the Rec Specs. Yeah, Boise. Let's lay it.
They're 11-1 at home this season. They're coming up. New Mexico's coming off that gigantic win at the pit against Utah State team that was in second place. Boise drops all the way back to 5th. This is a great spot for Boise. Let's go.
Yeah, New Mexico has defense and defense can travel, but Patino obviously coaches them well, but this is a bounce back spot at home for Boise State. You got to smash Boise State here.
Smash.
Kramer, what are you doing?
Yeah, like I said, Boise State. I was going to tell you not to look at the New Mexico free throw percentage.
No, I mean,
whatever you do,
New Mexico's a good team. This is just a situation spot for Boise State. Hey, Coming up, we got our locks and our dogs, of course, presented by Rhythm. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RATHMM. Get signed up. You're gonna want to do it because some cool Rhythm stuff could be coming out soon. Stay tuned. And you get that 7-day free trial. Of course, go in, start building your own college basketball models. And yeah, perfect time for March. Again, very easy to build your own. If you're like, hey, I don't want to build my own model, Rhythm will build one for you. You can even name it. It's a lot of fun. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Start betting smarter, not harder. Over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. Kramer, what do you got?
Sorry, I was distracted. Just checking out this. I was trying to find the odds on that asteroid running into the planet. I really want to bet on it not to run into the planet. I'm in favor of us living. All right, let's lock number one. Big fan of this. Okay, let's see. We're only doing island games for my locks today. So Kentucky, we're gonna lay the points there. Like that spot. Definitely give me Auburn in the jungle to smash. And smash. Island games only. I said. Do I have any more island game? Oh yeah, SMU. Beautiful. Southern Illuminati visits Northern Illuminati, gets it done. Get for the dog. Oh boy. Dog. This is embarrassing. I do like the NC State angle. That's a big one. Give me Providence. Got a big laid down a NFL side amount on Providence, Sean, plus the floor. Okay. So got a little skin in the game, as they say. Well, what do you think the dog price is going to be here? Plus 150?
Yeah, sounds about right.
What do you like better, plus 150 or plus 4?
I think I would take the 4. It just feels like a one basket game. For my locks, first up, give me North Dakota State plus 7.5. Give me NC State. You cannot take UNC under any circumstance. NC State catching the 10. And for my other lock. Let's see here.
Who's the big splashy hire next year for North Carolina? Jordan? Is Jordan coming, coach?
Dion? You could probably play some.
Could it be Jay Wright?
Oh shit.
That would be like the only. It would have to be a program like that for Jay Wright to come out of retirement.
Yeah, Belichick's there too, so you don't have to be like. In a way, you don't have to eat
somehow less pressure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not responsible for all the NIL money coming in there. And last but not least, country roads take me home. Give me the West Virginia Mountaineers laying the 3.5. And for my money line dog, give me let's see here. I think I obviously like North Dakota State. I like Vandy, but I'm gonna say I don't think it's too crazy that the Washington State Cougars get the outright victory at home in Pullman. Give me Washington State. Colby, what do you got? 3 locks and a dog.
I've gotten a little cute lately. All right.
Really?
I want to apologize to my clientele.
Come on, lock in.
If you dial 1-800-PICK-DUNDE, I have an if dial 555 and sit on the phone for you gotta wait like 7 minutes 37 seconds, but you will get an apology from me on the locks. You know what you do in college sports? You take the fucking home teams. All right. You take the fucking home teams. Lock Boise State.
Okay.
Lock South Dakota State in the Dakota marker. Lock East Tennessee State against Greensboro. The dog. Don't overthink it. Notre Dame. The message gets home. Signed, sealed, delivered.
Wow.
See you at the winner's circle.
That was a really bad message, though. If we're all being honest, that was not a motivating message. He looked like a snail getting upset.
It was weird how long it took him to actually get really fired up, and really angry. Do we do any parlays, or do we? I think we have to earn the parlays.
No more parlays.
We've the mojo's been off. Let's get right with our locks, and then we'll earn the parlay. I think that's a That's a good resolution for
What
us.
about did we? Oh no, you went, Bradley. You terrible person.
I was trying to come
Okay.
up with a Drake joke, but there's nothing left.
You could talk me into a Drake St. John. Well, those are two big favorites. I don't know. There's nothing. I mean, if you're okay, now I'm seeing the board a little clearly.
Oh, really?
Big dog parlay. Give me Providence. Providence Vandy on the money line. Little pretty decent sized dog.
It's too
parlay.
hot.
Colby, do you want to give out a parlay?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay in my own lane over here right now. There's been some bad juju out there, and I don't want a piece of that action. I'm gonna say,
This fucking guy.
let's take the Irish on the money line,
Okay.
parlayed with Cincinnati on the money line.
All right.
It's like Richie Incognito with all these apologies over here.
Kramer, any final thoughts?
I haven't earned the parlay.
Okay.
I'm not going to be greedy like you two.
Well, hey,
I
make sure you
respect
sign
everything.
up for the College Experience, basketball edition, the College Experience baseball edition. Shout out to Noah.
Don't forget
Thank you.
football. Don't forget football
as well.
Yeah.
You got
Do
some
football
off-season football stuff as well. Download the SGPN app, free picks, free podcast, everything we do in one convenient app wherever you get your apps. And edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. Sign up over there. You're not going to regret it. And of course,
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
for the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the money green. He's Ryan.
Football.
Kramer. Let it ride.